no delay. Make everybody see in order to fight the powers that be.
Good afternoon and welcome to a Monday edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reginald Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother Wildman Teddy T, a.k.a. Baron the Mound Builder.
What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays to everybody. Ho, ho, ho.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, bro. So, you know, what we on?
You know, just trying to get through it. They done shut us down again. We at midnight to 6, you know, in Miami. So, act accordingly.
So when that electoral college meets, when those electors meet, where's it going down? Has anybody showed they natural yet? Has anybody shown it? No, everybody so far is going according to plan. I saw Vermont, I saw Delaware, I saw Indiana and Tennessee. I saw them go forward with their electoral selection. So it's going according to plan. I think it's, around one. Well, you know what? Check that out, man. It's supposed to happen. Georgia. Yeah, check out Georgia. See if Georgia, went in without showing they behind, bruh. But somebody definitely going to show they behind. In Michigan, they got Lansing, the capital, they got the Lansing, locked down. They're only going to allow, 60 people to come up in the spot because, Michigan is an open carry state. So, they
Ain't taking no chances.
You know what I mean? They you got to be on the list. You got to be on the list to come up in here, bro. Non-essential, anybody that's not needed, don't come to work today. And they getting police escort. So, what you think is real, Teddy, or you think it's fabricated, man? What say you, free man, more?
Well, I've seen on DC, they had some little scuffles, some stabbing, some fighting going on amongst...
Right. The Black Lives Matter and the Patriots, the Proud Boys.
Right.
The Proud Boys and, Antifa. I'm yet to run into somebody that says, oh, from Antifa. I yet to, bro. You know what? Another place I never ran into, DJ Newkirk, I never ran into somebody from Acorn. You remember Acorn back in the day?
Yeah.
I never ran into somebody from Acorn, so I don't know if they go by different names and different cities and states and whatnot.
That must be what it is.
Yeah, because some of the cats, man, down south, we say soda, but a lot of the folks, they call it pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And cold drink. In some spots,
right.
we call it cold drink.
That's a southern. Let me get a cold drink. Getting your anime bullock on. Coca-Cola, please. Coca-Cola, please. They getting their whatever on, man. So, I know what it is, man. We trying out a new little situation, man. Little situation is called Clubhouse, man. It's a new app, and it's all verbal. So, it's interesting. And speaking of it being all verbal, the interesting thing about it is, you always hear, well, I guess somebody can post a video or they can go live, but it's something about the voice that is lost, which I guess if you think about it, what are the radio stations saying right now? They like, huh? Or the newspapers. But anyway, so, somebody doing it one way, somebody going to come in there and be like, hey, how about a club that, it's like the club outside is really the club and inside it's like you're outside. Somebody going to come in. So this is a new app. Right now it's interesting because you're able to see and witness, well, not see, but you're able to experience, real-time dialogue. So it was academics in this particular room, and they was roasting academics. So some people, I think, posted it against the rules and, screenshot or recorded it and put it out, basically, the conversation between Meek Mill and academics. It was very interesting, and there was some, interesting cast that was in the room, basically saying that academics compared to Q from World Star was basically looking at, the difference in the way Q did it, where
Right.
he did not he didn't attach his opinion on stuff. He posted everything. Versus, I guess, academics is putting his stuff, and there were complaints about, so Meek came in there, was essentially saying, yo, you are jeopardizing people's freedom, because he was like, yo, you put out a video, I'm on probation, and you put out a video basically saying we got, guns and a picture of me with a gun or something like that, and folks are going to your site, looking at, real-time information, and essentially you are a culture vulture, within the culture. And they went on for like 30 minutes. So it was a very interesting, conversation. Tory Lanez was in the room, but 21 Savage was the one that was really moderating, the situation about, whether or not academics is good for the culture, or if he's, what he's doing as far as, I guess academics is like on the path of a Joe Budden or a Charlemagne, in that particular space, which may have been maybe spearheaded by Star, when they were on the morning show.
Star and Book Wild.
And to a certain extent, Wendy Williams. Like, Wendy Williams might be the godmother of this whole, of this particular genre as far as what folks is on.
Definitely Buck Wild, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it all stems from the other day, an artist named Casanova was on Vlad show, and he went to just telling all of his information about who he killed, this person and that person, and he was picked up right after the show. And they're saying that Vlad and these guys are all Fed informants. And I've been saying that for years, because just watching the things that these guys do and what happens afterwards, it's just too coincidental.
I mean, they're all pretty intelligent individuals, so it's not coincidental that they talking about certain things. When you're a shock jock, that's what you're trying to elicit. You're trying to make news. You're trying to create controversy. You're trying to be a part of that controversy, whenever possible. But I still thought it was a good dialogue, and it's good to see. It's good to see the artists taking their place in the community. Before, artists were always in the distance. They weren't out there in the horizon or being the ones at the forefront of making business moves. But I think over time, you've seen Magic Johnson, you've seen, of course, Michael Jordan. And I think nowadays it is, folks are growing up with the entrepreneurial spirit, already. Got 9-year-olds with deals with, Walmart to sell lemonade or their own products.
It's
What I mean? Like, they coming up like that. They're coming in with merchandise and, ideas and stuff.
Because parents are getting smart too.
Right. So capitalizing off the situation. So I think I think celebrities, athletes, influencers are capitalizing more than perhaps they had been before. And creating that entire industry, I think you have certain responsibilities that come with it. When you get to a point where you're hauled off to Congress, you're hauled off to Washington, D.C., like Facebook, Twitter, and all these companies, or you get hauled off because you're doing something that was not thought of, or you're doing something that has gone beyond what people expected.
Right.
And now you got a monopoly on the medical system. You got a monopoly. They were saying on 60 Minutes yesterday when they did the feature on the hospital system out there, where basically one suffer basically just came out and just bought up all the hospitals. And by buying up all the hospitals, when the insurance companies, did not have any negotiation power when it came to them. It was like, yo, if you got somebody, we got all the hospitals, you got to use our rates. Mm-hmm. And it was like in Northern California, their rates were like 3 times.
Dang.
Like 3 times, the rate of, in Southern California. Saying a procedure for a premature baby was $600,000 in Sacramento, $300,000, in like Los Angeles, San Diego, which first of all, $600,000 and for a premature baby, that happens like all the time. I guess they saying all that equipment, but I guess most people don't know, or it's like wow. I guess that's why everybody from California and New York leaving, bro, because of the taxes, man. It costs too much to live out there, bro, because it's nuts, man. It's like to go to California, it's like going to Disney World, where you expect to spend $20 on a hot dog, because you at Disney World. How often are you going to be at Disney World? Wow. So that's what it is, man. It was a pretty poor weekend for the Florida teams. Of course, the Dolphins, man, do we believe in, victories that aren't victories? Like, that we played them tough. We was all right. We was in there. We was close. Like,
yeah, I mean, I thought that, I thought they
moral
would
victories.
make that comeback, but, they did make some valid, I thought it was like a game where they kind of had to figure out where they was at. Like, they got 2 sacks. They got 3 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? And
bruh, tell me what I missed, Teddy, because I thought it was 14-10 at the half.
It was. And
I looked up, and it was 13 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter, but now the score was 28-10. What happened?
They did 2 back-to-back touchdowns. Like back to
in
back.
a minute and 20 seconds.
What was it? I can't remember what it was, but I know it.
Looking at the time.
It came because then it came right back.
Oh, because they got the ball first, so they must have scored like right off rip.
Yep.
And then when the Dolphins got it on, it was a turnover, and they went all okay. Because I was like, where was I, man? Because
You blink.
that was like one of those old Mike Tyson fights,
Mike
bro.
Tyson fight, went to the
You
bathroom.
went to the bathroom. What I miss? What I miss? Man, dude is done. He's out of here. And then the Hurricanes, bro. That was embarrassing, man. Man, that was embarrassing, bro.
Them boys, North Carolina came to play.
And the thing is, when North Carolina, since Lawrence Taylor, when have they been good, bro? But the last few years, is it that they're getting better, or is it that UM is just getting worse, bro? Because
I think they're getting better because, I just think, like, to me, UM, they just go through these phases, you know what I mean, on the field. Like, they play good, but then the defense breaks down. Like, nephew got his touchdown on,
Yeah.
It was like, come on, man, what are y'all doing?
They just these other teams, bro. They just seem grown, man. They seem grown, and our guys seem young and undersized. Like, when does that happen? Like, we always had them dogs. Like, we had big giants, when we need it, or just great skill, guys like, Jerome Brown, you know, even though he wasn't that big, he was wide and he was great, and that was Warren Sapp. You're talking about,
He was
he was a beast,
Yes.
And then the linebackers, you're talking about Ray Lewis. We've had those dogs, man. We've always had those dogs in the, in the front, and then the linebackers. We wasn't so great. Our secondary wasn't so great. We had great safeties. You talk about Ed Reed, and you talk about Sean Taylor. As far as the safeties, but as far as the corners, our corners have been okay. A lot of speed, but I can't think of too many, corners that was just, that standouts. Correct me if I'm wrong. I receive it.
I did have Stacey Abrams up here during the cast when they were doing the electoral cast the votes.
So what happened? Let us see. What happened with her?
Can you turn it up? Do I have it up over there? No.
Yeah, man. So we checking out Georgia and Stacey Abrams.
I was born in Wisconsin, grew up in Mississippi and in Georgia, lived in Texas, lived in Connecticut, but I planted my flag and my feet here in Georgia. And I look around this room and I see people who've not only planted their feet, but planted their dreams here in Georgia. Folks who have given of their time and their talent and their treasure to invest in the communities that they serve. See, when I go to South Georgia, I know I can't travel there without calling Bobby Fuse first. And that if I'm anywhere near Middle Georgia, Fanica Miller's name has to come out of my mouth. I know that if you go to Savannah, you've got to talk to Van Johnson about what he's doing for his city. And I know where my parents live in Stone Mountain, they are well represented by Senator Steve Hinson. When Rome, Georgia needed a voice in their city council, they got Wendy Davis. And when the Senate needed a new leader, it got Gloria Butler. We know that Sachin Varghese was our attorney over in the House when we were fighting for good maps. And I know when we need a good man who understands labor and power, you look to Ben Myers. When I served in the House, I was privileged to help elect new people. And I saw Bob Trammell come up from Troup County. When I was working to elect other folks, the Young Dems were a powerhouse, and that brought me to Rachel Pauley. We needed a new voice in Athens to make certain that justice rings out, and we've got Deborah Gonzalez. And when I was at the City of Atlanta watching new things unfold, there was Kathy Woolard. And you cannot make a decision in the Georgia General Assembly without consulting the Dean of the House, Calvin Smyrie. I name each of you because each of you have claimed this state as your own. But more importantly, you claimed the people as your own. But moving forward from
Newkirk,
dream to reality requires
is this
a
live
force.
or what is this?
This is we can move it up.
Leave it upon
When was
complete-
that? What does it say?
Ben Myers,
What we doing? What we doing?
Rachel Pauley, Calvin Smyrie, Bob Trammell, Sachin Varghese, Nikema Williams,
Oh, this is from Georgia earlier today. What time was that? 1
Kathy
o'clock?
Woolard.
The casting of the electoral votes in Georgia.
Yeah, this is about 30-something minutes ago. I think it was like 30-something minutes ago.
What did it say at the end?
Now 53 minutes ago.
What did it say?
57 minutes ago.
Did they give a result? Did they say what it was? No shenanigans, no
It
chicanery.
seemed like everyone. I haven't seen the results yet, but we can find those. We'll see.
Yeah, just make sure it's only a problem if somebody decides to show their ass. That's that's the only thing. That's basically what we looking for. We were looking for somebody.
Anybody show they behind?
Everybody show their behind, man. We get a little shock going on right now. We could go ahead and shock it. Yes, indeed.
Well, hold on. Let's see what we got here. 16 electorals officially casted Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as the new president.
Okay,
vice
so
president.
wow, Georgia just stuck it to Donald J. Trump. They just said, we're gonna follow the law. Isn't that great, people?
That's awesome.
Isn't that something?
But wait, how many is it? Only 16 electoral votes in Georgia?
Yeah, in Georgia, yes.
Okay.
In Georgia, I think it's 20 in Pennsylvania. The ones they was looking for, like 11 in Nevada. But the swing states were that everybody was waiting on: Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia,
Nevada.
and Nevada. Yeah.
Richard Elliott said, breaking news, the official Democratic electors just picked Joe Biden as Georgia's choice for president.
Oh, they said the Democratic electors. So what does that mean?
Democrat, I don't know.
Because that don't mean nothing. That don't mean anything.
Georgia Republicans are all the caps on the state.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know Stacey Abrams was not speaking to everybody in Georgia. I'm like, huh? I'm like, nah. We don't understand how they do things in Georgia, bro.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams, Bob Trammell. That's what people, the name she was calling off and that they were voting at that time.
So maybe they are the delegates. Maybe they are the delegates. Because it's a formality, but still, there's a list of the delegates. So if I could read that story and find out what happened and what the process is, as far as, because I'm sure there are also Republican delegates, because I think that's what Trump was trying to do. Remember when he was calling all the legislators? He was calling the state legislators
Right.
to try to get them to cast their vote for him, even though most, if not all, of the states have a law where the winner of the certified votes gets the electoral delegates. They get the electoral votes regardless. There's nothing you can do about it except go in there and show your ass. And that's what I'm waiting to see.
Well, the Michigan is convening now, right?
And they did that even in 2016. Like, somebody went in there and it didn't. I guess it didn't matter, but they did not give Trump the electoral vote, even though he had won for the state. Like, a person went up there and cast their vote for Hillary Clinton anyway. So
That's Michigan's doing theirs live.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they'll pop that in there, bro. Pop that in there so you can see.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, I
was
see
just
him,
saying.
man. T the Tastemaker just rocked up on us, man. To welcome to the platform. I guess you can't never keep a tastemaker down, man. What up, bro? Welcome to the Ask Mathis show. T the Tastemaker. What's good with you?
What's going on, Mathis?
Man, we just watching the real time Georgia, Michigan cast those electoral votes, man.
Please indicate your vote on the ballot by writing in the name of the
I
nominee.
said we out
Sharon
here
Baseman,
watching,
in the blank space on
we're
the ballot
doing the
and
show,
signing
and
your
I
name.
brought you in on Clubhouse.
First name is spelled
as we
Sharon,
do the show, and so we're watching the
and the last name is spelled
Michigan,
Baseman,
Georgia,
B-A-S-E-M-A-N.
and some other state houses
Please
cast their
also print your
electoral
name
votes today
under
for
the signature.
president. So today should be the last day that people stop tripping. But Hawaii is the last one to cast the vote, and that'll be at 7:00 tonight. So by 7:05, Joe
As you
Biden
complete,
should
I now ask
officially
Sergeant at Arms to collect the
be
ballots
declared
for
the
the purpose of tallying them.
president-elect, man. But they still out there tripping, man. He done raised over $250 million.
Million.
So 250 M's, bro. Where you at, T? You in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm currently in Atlanta, doing my thug thizzle,
Yeah. I'm seeing the visuals, man. What was that meal Lady Rose was making? What was the meal she was cooking, bro? It was very distracting. It He was very distracted, man. I think I saw a pot and maybe
it was
some
a pot and
vegetables.
yeah, it was some pot and some other things going on on the stove, but I think the real meal was Lady Rose.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, what was she cooking anyway? What was she cooking? I know it was something. Like, let's do it justice. Next time y'all gotta do the after picture. Next time.
We gonna turn them up. We gonna turn them up. It's a whole new calendar coming up, so
Yeah.
Taking closer to the mic.
Okay, that's what it is, man. I see this. I don't even. Are we even allowed to say pretty? I want to say I see this pretty lawyer just came up. Attorney Williams, am I allowed to say that or no?
I think you're allowed to.
Good afternoon. I just making sure. I like that picture. You look like a British barrister. Like that's what it is. Welcome to Clubhouse. Welcome to Ask Mathis. We got our brother T the Tastemaker, his new artist Lady Rose, and that record. But I know you can't comment on that record. Can you?
I don't think so.
I don't think she can comment on that record. Not doing business hours anyway. Not doing business hours anyway. But we've been checking out, Stacey Abrams. She just gave a speech and trying to figure out if we have anybody from the state of Georgia who can assist us. It would help, just in terms of how they come in and they vote, because
Sharon Basin has received 15 votes to fill the vacancy in the office of Elector of President and Vice President of the United States.
Well, no, that's Michigan.
And is selected as an elector.
That's Michigan.
And will be seated.
So Michigan,
among
we
the
watching Michigan give their cast their electoral ballots right now. Yeah, they got a brother that's serving as the chair and doing this thing, man. So that's what it is. But it's good to see you, Miss Williams. What you up to? What you out doing a depot right now? What you doing?
Nope, I have, the court is...
And just so I don't get left out of signing things, I will now complete the certificate of filling the vacancy. Representative Tate will please come forward, and the secretary, your signature is also required.
Right. Yeah. So you're doing that because I had a hearing a couple months ago, and they were saying that they were going to start doing that. They was going to start certifying and put you in the queue. So y'all got, so y'all got a lot of cases in the queue, probably more than most.
We definitely have more than most, and I think because of the nature of the cases, they're so old. The case I'm prepping now is 2006.
Oof.
They're kind of like, so they're like, listen, we understand it's COVID, Corona, but these cases got to get tried.
Oh, man. Is it going to be a bench trial?
No, so we're not waiving. We are not going for it on a bench trial. It has to be a jury trial for us. I think what they're doing is they are going to, once it's queued up, certified, ready for trial, essentially we're coming in to pick the jury, and they're going to have a designated floor for the in-person trials, and only so many trials can go that week, which is why they want us to do all the motions and everything beforehand, so that there's quote-unquote no surprises the day of trial.
Wow. We got to bring you on the show afterwards so you can walk us through it, because I got some trials that's coming up. So I'm going to let you go through it just like with that vaccine. I'm going to let you go ahead. I'm going to let you get on that vaccine right quick, and we're going to...
It is now time to sign the certificate of election
That's
for Elector Sharon Basin.
Hey, T,
Each
what's
elector
good?
must sign the certificate of election to certify the election of Elector Sharon Basin. The Sergeant at Arms will provide each of you with the certificate
I'm
in
actually
turn.
coming down there
Please
tomorrow.
remain seated while we proceed with
Shoot
the
a
signing.
video.
Yeah.
Do some studio work.
Chris Caggiolo.
Yeah, well, you know what, bro? I see y'all into the parodies, so I got a parody.
Okay.
I had a parody. We're gonna change the head to another thing, man, and have a have a little jingle. Have her do a little jingle.
I can see that happening. So I'm gonna be with you tomorrow.
All right, man. Be safe, man. Good. Appreciate
Timothy
you rocking
E.
on
Smith.
with us, man.
Yeah, we gonna make this big. We gonna make this clubhouse big, man. I'm glad I know you on here, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to.
Good thing you here.
Yeah, I'm trying it right now. Chuck came on yesterday, so I'll probably get Flo on it in a couple days. You know, so I can come on here.
I just got the app today myself, so I've been.
Yeah.
With Fundra.
Yeah.
I just got the app like 2 days.
Yeah. So did you check out the Meek Mill conversation with
Missouri.
academics?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that one was a good. It was a good one. The him and
Absolutely.
21. Yeah, it was a real good one.
Absolutely.
That's why I said we need one because I feel like this is a time where, you know, E-Class and Freezy and the locals, we all could talk because we ain't got we could all talk. Everybody could talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, we have to have I feel like this clubhouse for Florida could bridge a lot of gaps.
Yeah, it'd be cool, you know, just to come out there and get it in there, man. But, you know, Meek, in my opinion, bro, Meek put on about 3 different hats, bro.
Yeah, he do.
Like, he ain't all the way there yet, but I appreciate the growth. I appreciate the evolution, but he flexed a couple times, and you never have to tell somebody you a boss or you in charge. You basically...
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just like somebody just coming in there saying you wrong because you black.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let your points rule the day. Let your points rule the day. You know, don't just come in there and like, oh, you only got 2 million followers. Like, bruh, come on, man. That don't mean nothing. Look how many followers 6ix9ine got. You know what I mean? And nobody holding him up as an MVP. We should be looking at ourselves like, how do we have this clown in the White House for 4 years? And Tekashi 6ix9ine is a perfect example of we as a society and what we deserve, you know, for real. Because that's, you know, that's crazy to me. But I definitely understand.
I agree with you 100% on that.
I definitely understand what Meek was saying, though, to academics. It's like, bruh, you know, people are really getting in trouble, you know, with some of the stuff that you're doing. And it's like, if you see something, how far are you willing to go before you put somebody else's freedom in jeopardy and you think it's all fun? And I think that's what Meek was trying to get across, that it ain't necessarily all fun when the people that's riding with me see you, you know, as Safari. Like, you know what I mean? Out there in California, like, we already saw that. It was like, yo, they get out, there goes Safari. And I'm sure they did not want to do that. I'm sure when they went, you know, when Meek probably took them to the mall to get their little outfits for whatever party they was going to, I'm sure, you know, they didn't think they was, you know, facing jail, you know, in a few minutes, in a few moments. But you know what it is? Certain people, they got parts to play. And when it's that time, spring into action. That's what it is, dog. That's what it is. So Michigan just certified for Biden.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
Georgia did. That's what they were saying.
And so Georgia certified.
It's a historical.
Okay.
Pedro Marine.
So Georgia got Biden.
Yeah, Jordan certified for Biden, bro, and Trump is not happy, man. He's
Fanika Miller.
he running around, bro. You know, calling the governor, saying
Ben
the governor
Myers.
is hapless, and you know, just clapping at
Rachel
him, bro.
Pauley.
Just clapping at him.
Smiling. She happy. She enjoying this. I'm enjoying it too.
Calvin Smyrie.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is, but you know, we'll
Bob
see,
Trammell.
man. January 5th, they got that senatorial election with
Sachin Varghese.
Raphael Warnock and John Isaac. You know, if they don't
Williams.
win, it's gonna be it's nothing. It's gonna be a
Kathy
bunch
Willard.
of nothing. Because Mitch McConnell gonna be able to stop everything. He's gonna be able to
I am
stop
pleased to
everything.
announce that Joseph R. Biden has received 16 votes for President of the United States.
Okay. It is. Look at Georgia. Look at
First time in
Georgia.
28 years since 1992 that the state of Georgia has cast its electoral votes for a Democratic presidential
And
candidate.
they
You see
giving
Stacey
Stacey
Abrams,
Abrams
their
her
former
props.
Democratic
Yeah,
gubernatorial
no, Stacey.
candidate
Like, they giving
in
her
Georgia,
props.
reading the
Like,
roll
I'm
call
like,
there, all
yo.
16 electoral
She did a
votes,
speech
all
and-
16 electoral
Oh,
votes in the
man,
state of
boy.
Georgia
We
going
gotta
to
get
Joe
her super
Biden
protection.
right now. Jake, this
Yeah, we got to get her super protection, bro, because that's huge, man. They like, can you believe that black woman?
She was talking to everybody. When you were saying names, she wasn't just
She
talking.
was the
she was
wow.
talking
So
to
they sat up there
everybody.
and took that
They
medicine.
took it.
Oh,
Everybody,
wow.
every name, all that.
They took that medicine from that sister and she gave it to him.
It was
With a
16
smile.
to 0.
With
Trump
a smile.
0.
Wow, bro, with a smile. She gave it to him with a smile, bro. We gotta get our shots out to Atlanta, man. Atlanta, is really showing us what we thought.
What we just saw with states.
What we thought Washington D.C. Was when we called it Chocolate City and we called it the Mecca, and as far as
Shout out to Atlanta.
Atlanta, bro, Decatur where it's greater. Atlanta is like, bro, this what it is. We're gonna do it unapologetically, bro. This is Wakanda. This is Wakanda, bro. They's like, bro, we just going for excellence, man. And this is crazy. Cause it's like, LA, you can only do so much in LA. New York, you can only do so much in New York. Miami, you can only do so much in Miami. But Atlanta is a black controlled city, with the politics as well as the entertainment, as well as the educational system, as far as upward mobility, as far as whatever it is. Because when you put institutions of higher learning in a place, it's going to lead to the development and the enlightenment of that location. And you're talking about the Atlanta University Center, Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Morris Brown, ITC, Morehouse School of Medicine. Then you go downtown and you got Georgia State, you got Georgia Tech, you got Emory, you got DeVry, you got Vassar, you got Life College. You know what I mean? You got all these people that's coming from all over the world that's coming in, and they're absorbing black culture
And loving it.
and they're absorbing black culture, and it's somebody black everywhere that you can do. If you need a lawyer, it's black lawyers. You need a doctor, it's black doctors. You know what I mean? It's everything is there. There's somebody, you can't go in there and blame the white man for everything when the person that you competing against is black and the person that's going to offer you the opportunity is black. That just means you got to come in there and do your best. You got to come in there and you got to come in and you got to compete, and you can't blame anybody. You can't blame redlining for, why you ain't get the loan or this and that or whatever. And it's like, man, black homeowners throughout Georgia, throughout Atlanta, coming in, and the prices are lower, way cheaper than New York, LA, Miami. So, I would say after Atlanta, look for Charlotte, like Charlotte, North Carolina.
Raleigh is the number one city.
Okay.
Raleigh's the joint.
Teddy T say Raleigh.
Raleigh's Raleigh's the number one black economic city in the country.
Say Raleigh. Say Raleigh.
Well, I appreciate y'all, boys, man. I'm gonna get back to that.
Yeah, get back to the bag. We got T the Tastemaker making a Clubhouse cameo stop through. Appreciate it. All right, man. Give him some of that Lady Rose on his way out, man. Teddy T. We reciprocate around here. Y'all make sure y'all go check her out, man. That's Lady Rose, LAD, II Rose 007, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what we doing all 2021, man. I know it's fellas on the line, so pause.
Watch me get wild on my OnlyFans.
Here we go.
Haters
T the
don't
Tastemaker,
like it,
Lady
I'm
Rose.
my man's good kitty over here, come eat it for
All right,
dinner.
man, be good.
I'll take it all off, boy, you got a winner. Chill for an hour before you get the picking. Boy, I'm popping like Popeye's chicken. My ex upset, he's still in love. Then why he leaked my sex tape on Pornhub? I yell, I scream, I can't stay silent. He like to beat the cheeks, domestic violence. But I don't give a damn, everything's all Gucci. Show the kitty cat where my stack at, Boosie. Deep sea dive like a porno movie. He go downtown in the jacuzzi. Now he got me running on like a faucet. He work it all night till I'm exhausted. Getting bread, and more bread. Put it in your mouth, daddy, go ahead. Wet kitty cat boy, I stay dripping. Now eat the kitty up like finger licking. Getting bread, and more bread. Put it in your mouth, daddy, go ahead. Wet kitty cat boy, I stay dripping. Now eat the kitty up like finger licking. Kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. Kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. Kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. Kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. Kiss it, kiss it.
T the Tastemaker doing this thing with Lady Rose. What you think about that? You think it's how much life you think it has left before they got to move to the next record?
I mean, it's just growing. It's not even really hitting in a lot of areas yet. They're doing Atlanta. They got to go on over to Augusta and Macon, get it popping in the Southeast. The video doesn't come out. The video comes out, I think, in the next couple of weeks, or it should be getting ready to come out. So it's just in its infant stages right now.
Okay, you heard it from Teddy T. He
Wow,
says
man.
it's just getting queued up. It's just been marinating for a little while, man, like a good pot of greens or oxtails. You know what I mean?
When that
Certain
video
things.
dropped, that video is going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, he was saying that they have a bunch of influencers in the video, especially coming out of Atlanta. I guess all the up and comers and the influencers and the bloggers and the in the video. So that's that's what it is, man. Everybody getting ready for 2021, bro. Can you think of a 21 that happened? You remember anything that happened in 1821, 1921, 1721, 1621, 1521?
1721 was the end of the Yamasee Wars with the Europeans and Native Americans and the Yamasee when they went into Florida and became the Seminoles.
So 1721, you say?
Because it was 1713 to 1721. That was that. That's when the United States said they was not going to enslave Indians anymore. And they went and started bringing in the Africans. Created the Negro laws.
So there's a natural tension between the African and the indigenous person, even though the indigenous person, according to Wildman Teddy T, is one and the same.
Always. But the light-skinned, what they call the Red Indians, they're the ones that became the occupiers of the land after the Aboriginal title, which is 1820, when the Johnson versus McIntosh Supreme Court ruling said because the United States had took the land from the Native Americans under Christian domain, that Native Americans could only sell land to the United States. So both McIntosh and Johnson could not get the land, and after that, the Trail of Tears started.
And of course, the Trail of Tears is when the Native Americans either had to fight or agree to relocate to what are now referred to as reservations.
Oklahoma, they had to go all the way to Oklahoma to pick up. Only ones that the Cherokee Oyster went to the Supreme Court, and Cherokee got to stay. That's why 285 is locks off, and then right after 285 is all Cherokee County going in from Georgia to Tennessee. That was the land that the Cherokees, they didn't have to leave. They got to stay in Georgia.
For sure. Newkirk, what else, bro? You in line for that vaccine? You in line for the vaccine?
Well, no, I'm still waiting to see what you gonna do. I'm watching
I'm thinking
you
about
to see what's gonna happen.
Somebody cracked me up. They said, I see that guy on your show. He's really gonna get the vaccine. She watched the show And I was like, yeah, Reggie's, he's going to probably go ahead and he's going to let us know.
We
the
gonna
side
have
effects.
to, bro. We gonna have to get the
We're
vaccine.
gonna have to.
So
They
we can
even
get
our
back
kids.
on
They're gonna
this
force our
road.
kids to take it and
So
everything.
yeah,
They
probably
said 75%.
yeah, probably around about the summer.
Summer
but
we should be back to normal if we all get all
probably,
the vaccines.
yeah, by the summer, like we're gonna need 70% for herd immunity. But the herd immunity is different than what Dr.
What
Atlas
they were
was
trying
talking
to do.
about. They was just talking about without taking anything, just allowing your body to, build
Catch
up
it.
the immune system and fight it off and deal with it.
What's wrong with these people?
I mean, they just using a cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis, looking at the number of people who are going to die. And they, what your boy was trying to do really was...
Business?
No, what he was trying to do was make people feel that the novel coronavirus is just a different variation of the regular flu. Which in some ways, it is, and try to use the regular numbers that you get for flu deaths, because between 30 and 90,000 people will die just as a result of the flu in just regular years without what's going on here.
Right.
So he was trying to convince people that some of the folks was dying of the flu.
I had a conversation with my doctor, and he said that, he's not as he's I guess he's a Trump supporter as well, but I felt a little way about it, but I'm just like, hey, you do what you do. I'm listening, but hey, I don't know. He was more like saying that I understand that the flu, you get more deaths automatically with the flu, and he said it's the same thing. You get more car accidents. It was like he went through the car accidents, through the flu, everything like that.
Right. So you had some people, and certain countries handled it different, like New Zealand. Like New Zealand, for instance, I think
Australia don't have anymore, right?
New Zealand. I sent you that story about New Zealand where they locked down for 3 months. They locked down for 3 months, but it was a real lockdown, and they was back. They was back. As far as saying like having no more like reported cases. So there's a way that they did it, but there's a way that Sweden did it, which was, it was a bad situation. Folks really got sick, but they was basically like, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep it moving. And if you die, you die. And, take responsibility for protecting yourself and protecting those who are vulnerable. So it's just one of those things where we had to, as a society just wasn't ready to deal with that number of deaths, and Trump was just trying to make people do it his way, because he knew that having a pandemic blamed on him was going to take down his presidency.
This is how theirs look. Like, just look at the way that they went up and then.
That's New Zealand?
That's New Zealand numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we definitely should have, when you bring the smartest people who deal with something like Fauci, Birx, and the folks who this is what they've been on.
No, it was all
and
about money.
You get your smart people together, who understand like what it is that you're trying to do, but can be the bridge to understand like what it is. He put Mike Pence in charge. He put Mike Pence in charge to basically understand what all the experts are saying, and then when you come and talk to me, and I'm like, man, get up out of here with that. Ain't nobody stopping that, because he's coming in there doing it in such a way to appease the president and stay on the president's good side, instead of, just coming in there and like, bruh, this is what it is. Like, we're going to have to do something drastic. we're gonna have to do something, serious to address this issue. You got to take it serious. Like, we're gonna have to do this, and all they had to do was just come up with a campaign. When you look at all the money that we spent as a country with these Band-Aids, we've been taking a Band-Aid approach, the same approach that they did in Flint with the water. Instead of just coming in there and just dealing with it, you just, you in there sending like crates and pallets of water. People still heating up water and boiling the water. And then they finally passed the legislation and raised, private funding to come in there and fix the pipes.
Yeah, New Zealand's been COVID-free since early June. That's unbelievable, man.
June.
You said they had the lockdown for 3 months straight?
Yeah, from March. It went from March, and then, they emerged, and they had the 4-tier system, 4 zones. And so they entered back into zone 1. They entered into zone 1 in June, which is, basically it's not a full open up. They still don't allow, at the time, they weren't allowing people to fly in. And if somebody came in, it was, requiring like a 2-week quarantine, just different things that, folks come in and say, well, the U.S. is too
free.
Not so much free, but we're vast.
They don't have to wear masks.
We're a vast nation with a lot of, people who do things differently. Like folks in the city, it's like if you in New York City and you in these places where people are crowded into small spaces, or you got multi-generational households. Mm-hmm. You have people who are relying on public transportation to get to work and to get places, unlike, other places. Like in Florida, you can't really live in Florida without a car. Like, you can't really do that. No. In New York, it's easier to be without a car just because the parking is going to be crazy, the roads with all the potholes, and the traffic, with the cabs and the drivers and all the other stuff. So, it's different places. We're a big country, and we got people, and freedom does play a part. Freedom does play a part when it comes to this, because you got certain folks, and that's where the president should have come in and just had signs and stuff all over the country. You know what I mean? Just PSAs, wear your mask, and, coming out doing it, wear your mask. Like, don't make it political, because it's not about, somebody giving it to you. It's about you not giving it to them, and you don't know who you are encountering. I don't know if you guys watch Saturday Night Live, but with Saturday Night Live, they just did a, how they used to do the cone heads back in the day, where they got the cones, where they had, like, the coronavirus. They had, like, headgear for coronavirus, and they was just around just doing, different things. Like, the kid just came home from school, and I was like, yeah, we're going to go over here to, and they was picking on people who had it. Like, yeah, we're going to go over to Giuliani's house now. Like, go over there. We're going to go and infect them.
Let's go to the president's Christmas party type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we all over the place. It's funny, but it ain't funny. Because
people like that, man.
We at 300,000, bruh. We're at 300,000 people to die in a year who would normally be here. Like, would still normally be here, bruh. Like, it's not, it's not a game. And you still have those numbers who died of the flu. You still have those people who died of the flu that's not.
They just passed away just because. It just happens like that sometimes. Some people, they get sick because they have some pre-existing conditions, and that's what's taking them out or getting them really sick, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, that's what it is. Oh boy, it's But it's gonna be. I'm just ready for this thing to get moving, bro.
I'm with you. I'm tired of it. I want it to be gone.
Just ready for it to get moving. Dealing with the new normal, what that is. Everybody, we got to get active and healthy, and it's COVID-19.
You talking about that?
All these things that's going on. So before we get up out of here, Newkirk, what else you got, man? That's to sum up some. Can sum it up.
It had this shit. He said, did Julian push Hunter Biden tax probe?
No, we don't gotta do that one.
You want to do that one? Let me see.
Nah.
Alabama Republican, the myth of the White House.
Nah.
I'm sorry, myth of the white superiority.
Nah, we don't got enough time for that one.
All right. COVID-19 vaccine reshipment, historic U.S. efforts.
Well, they here.
Mm-hmm.
They here, so
Trump rants about
it's just
getting
gonna be a
screwed
little
by
minute.
Trump rants about being screwed by the Supreme Court.
Right, as y'all knew.
He's about to have a meltdown. Oh, he had a Twitter meltdown.
Yeah, right. Because remember when we left Friday, Teddy, I told you that the Supreme Court, at the latest, it was going to come out before the Sunday shows. Like, it was going to be a weekend, and they came out like Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night.
Like, bam, here you go. Get up out of here with that.
That's it.
So
that was quick.
There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go now. The only thing you can do now, Teddy, is armed insurrection. That's, you know what I mean? The courts, you've exhausted your legal, your equitable remedies. They said, bro, Texas can't even come in. They have no standing. Remember I mentioned that? I said standing.
Yeah,
they
you
have
sure
no
did.
standing to challenge what someone else does in another state. And I also said, coming from Texas, where they eliminated all the drop ballots, one drop box per county, and they got the nerve to come in there and tell another county, another state,
That they did something.
come on, man.
Get out of here.
Get somewhere else.
It got to be certain things, man, and we got to make. I think we got to take baby steps right now, because I think with the last definite 4 years, maybe longer, but for the last 4 years at least, I think people, it's the things that make the country what the country is. We've turned away from it, and we're not.
He says the Supreme Court really let us down. No wisdom and no courage.
Yeah, like there's certain things that democracy has been on trial. Democracy has been on trial because you have people who essentially, people win and lose every day in life. They win and lose every day. Yeah. They win, they win verdicts, they lose verdicts. They win games, they lose games. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
That's true.
But when there is no finality, when it can go on indefinitely, Americans don't like that. Americans, we like to know what it is, and we won or we lost. Like, we like to know that.
We went no fast.
But you can't be in a perpetual state of appeal. Like, that's, you know what I mean? We've been in a perpetual state of appeal. That's not how Americans talk about stuff. No. Like, when the trial happens, the verdict comes, you win and you lost. You can't be coming out there talking about, yeah, I lost, but it's on appeal right now and it's going to come back and it's going to do this, whatever. Tupac went to jail after trial. He went to prison after trial. And even though his case was pending appeal, he was still in prison. Yeah. He was still in prison until Suge Knight posted that bond, and he was there. Nobody said, he won his appeal or whatever until he did. He was just out on appeal. Donald Trump can be out on these perpetual appeals, But people got to understand that he has lost. He has lost over 80 court cases, which he always talking about records. That has to be a record. He's lost over 80 court cases in less than 30 days. Imagine that. Imagine that. As y'all just heard from Attorney Williams, who was on the line, she was, she's about to try a case from 2006, 14 years later. And we talking about somebody that's gone to the Supreme Court twice.
Right away.
Twice. And then went to state Supreme Courts, throughout in 30 days. Come on, bruh. Who does that?
Nobody.
Who does that? And speaking of being tone deaf, the White House, after having all these super spreader Christmas party and events, Hanukkah parties and whatnot, decided that their staff was going to get the vaccine first. And somebody had some sense, and they just pulled back from that and said, no, we're going to get it to the doctors and the nurses and the nursing home people and the meat packers and the folks that's, got no choice, because the whole economy was shut down without these people. So let's go ahead and get them straight, and let's get in line when it's our turn. But that tone deafness, somebody, maybe it's Melania, man. It might be Melania. And she might say, look, we all had it anyway. And since we already had it, we probably already we already immune. They probably like, we already immune. Because normally, if you already had it, you good. Like chicken pox, you supposedly get it one time, and then you good. You Gucci. Problem is, with folks like me, I've never had it. So at my age, if I get it right now, it'll be like me catching COVID, like needing a respirator, bruh. That's so.
You never had chicken pox?
Never had it, bro. That's why they said at the age I am right now, if I were to get it, bro, it's like a killer.
I remember when I was little, I went into my cousin had it already, and we was at his friend's house, and I was in that room for like a few seconds, and me being in that room a few seconds, I caught it.
Wow.
Few seconds.
You ain't have to touch him or
like,
rub on him?
Nope. My aunt was like,
it was just in the air?
Just in the air. We was just around each other. She was like, did you ever catch it? I was like, no. And she was like, get your butt out that room now. Come down here.
And you caught it?
I caught it.
And how long did you have it?
I don't remember. Was it like a week or
you
so?
had to use like oatmeal and all that
we did
stuff.
Oatmeal baths.
Oatmeal bath.
Cat lotion. All that.
Yeah.
Terrible. Itching. And then it leaves blotch. If you bust that daggone scratch it, and it's going to leave that spot forever.
Yep, I had it. My cousin, she had measles and chickenpox at the same time.
I never had measles.
And I got it.
Wow, Teddy T, you got anything, bro, for we roll?
Not really. NBA kicks off next Wednesday, 22nd.
Yeah, so
some great games this weekend.
It was talking about no preseason.
Preseason's been going on all weekend long. All weekend they started. They started the first game with Sacramento versus Portland on Friday. The Lakers and Clippers played.
Regular season starts when?
The 22nd, next Wednesday.
Oh yeah, because that's right. They always want to be playing by Christmas. Yeah, because I remember they announced the lineup. LeBron is going to be prime time. They was talking about that. And Harden, where is he playing?
He's got to get 6 coronavirus.
Well, I'm saying, where is he?
Oh, he's at Houston still right now.
Okay.
He's still at Houston.
So he just want to leave, but he's still there.
Nobody's traded.
And they want him to leave too. Who's there? Who else is there in Houston?
John Wall. John Wall.
Yeah, but John Wall. You think, but John Wall, bro, he ain't played in 2 years. I mean, you think John Wall is that good that he can come back and? That's what I'm saying. I keep hearing like John Wall, but I'm like, yo, did John? He was definitely a top 5 guard at his prime when he was doing that, but to me, never never the guy who you build a franchise on. You know, I'm never a Wizards or a Bullet fan, so I don't know. Especially when you see like Kemba Walker. For whatever reason, Kemba Walker just was like Cisco to KC. You know, once Cisco came on the scene,
that was it for KC.
KC kind of fell back. You know, and Cisco doing flips.
He sure was. Well, blind here at that,
and
silver here at that.
And Cisco doing flips. So
blind and silver here.
I don't know, bro. I just remember when that Thong song came out, bro. That was a movement.
Man, when he had DMX had him on his track, that was something else
what
too.
What they want from him.
What they want from a dude.
Yeah, what they want from him. So I was like, I'm just saying. Be on the lookout, man. Be on the lookout. Appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. Gotta go dispense this justice. Appreciate you, Teddy T. Appreciate you, DJ Newkirk.
No problem.
Make sure y'all check us out, man. Video mix Sundays, 11 a.m. Direct TV, channel 8.1. You gotta have the rabbit ears for that. That's why they got the rabbit ears on the TV. You gotta have that antenna. Yeah. You gotta get your kids. Holla at your kids, man. They'll get you in there. They'll get you in the game.
That's 100%.
I got this record here from Justo Mathis from Nigeria with Hood Diesel and OG Hassel. This is a good record. It's called Blackface.
Blackface. For the movie Bamboozled 2.
Did it for the Blackface. Yeah. Hello, America. This your little lost and forgotten. Made a couple bad apples, but that don't mean all of us right. We still here suffering from all those years you must let us by plotting. Yeah, I'm blackface in the noose execution and patiently waiting to drop him. Yeah, she hate to see my black face. Legs tie still running in the rat race. 400 years of oppression, reparation. How much long you figure that take? Uncle Sam about that money, he forced us to pay astronomical tax rates. Want to sell merch in them sold out arenas, but I love like dollar blackface. So Alabama, show your black face. Houston, Mississippi, represent, show your black face. New Orleans, North, South, Cackalack, Florida, where you at, can't forget Atlanta, black face. Pull up in the hall, black, everything, crown me king. Yes, wipe him nuts out without a trace. Cause hate to see a black face. Represent for the black race.
All right, y'all.
Go on, show them all, show your black face. Legendary.